5, the date set aside each year to focus on the environment. This year's World Environment Day theme is Time for Nature. It's meant to highlight nature's role in providing essential resources that support life on Earth and aid human development. So it's no surprise that today's show will be an environmentally rich one. Remind us on why we must and how we can take care of our environment. Start right now.
Island clean, so clean. From the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it. Keep we island clean, so clean. From the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it.
No dash no paper, no dash no plastic. Dispose your garbage responsibly. No know how to recycle, learn it quick. And if you drop it, better pick up every piece of it. Plastics last forever, don't forget the bits. Cause when them touch the street, them end up in the sea. Collect pan the reef where they fish them feed. And when you want seafood, I eat your
Keep
eat.
we island clean, so clean. From the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it. No dirty up Jamaica, no dirty up Jamaica, no dirty up Jamaica, no dirty up Jamaica.
During this week's sitting of Parliament, Minister with Oversight for Education Carl Samuda updated the country on preparations being made for students who will be sitting the upcoming CSEC and CAPE examinations. We have the details.
After almost 2 months away from the physical classroom, students who will be sitting CSEC and CAPE will re-enter the traditional classroom setting starting Monday, June 8, in order to finalize their exam preparations and complete school-based assessments, SBAs. CSEC and CAPE exit exams were originally scheduled to begin on July 27, but will now commence on July 13 after the Caribbean Examinations Council, CXC, made further consultations with other Caribbean islands.
CAPE exams will end on July the 31st, while the CSEC exams will end on August the 4th. The results of these exams will be announced in the third week of September.
The earlier start and ending date will allow students a much-needed break before the new school year begins in September.
The first subjects that will be taken are those with lower registration, or the number of students registered to take the exam, such as modern language, orals, and so forth. Subjects with high registration will be administered in the final week of July.
This return to the classroom to prepare for these examinations in light of COVID-19 may be daunting to many, but to allay those fears, the Education Ministry has implemented numerous prevention and control measures to minimize the potential spread of COVID-19 within schools.
Our schools are now being cleaned and sanitized to facilitate the return of students to the physical classroom setting. Furniture is also being rearranged to ensure that the necessary physical distancing is maintained. Seating is being arranged 6 feet apart. For the average classroom of 24 by 24, this means there will be only 10 students and a teacher that can be accommodated in the existing facilities. In terms of health training, we have engaged a virtual health training strategy where the ministry has partnered with the Ministry of Health and Wellness to provide virtual training workshops for the schools that will reopen come June 8th. just under 1,000 principals, board chairmen, education officers, as well as proprietors of private institutions participate in the first virtual training workshop, which took place Friday, May 29th. Workshops were also held this week, and over 1,900 deans of discipline, guidance counselors, school nurses, home and family life education teachers and coordinators, plant managers and bursars participated in the training exercise.
The ministry will also continue to support students with transportation assistance under the Program of Advancement Through Health PATH. Additional PATH students may also benefit once relevant information is provided by schools. Parents and guardians are also reminded that students with special needs, comorbidities, and those unable to tolerate a mask due to hypersensitivity should not return to school physically. The same applies for students who require the support of a shadow. Learning will continue remotely.
As a government, the safety of our students is of absolutely paramount importance to every single one. And every child is as important as any other. We are working closely with the Ministry of Health and Wellness to ensure that public health is safeguarded while ensuring that our children receive the best quality education available.
An important message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness. What to do if you think you have been exposed or are experiencing signs and symptoms of COVID-19. Immediately call 888-1-LOVE. That's 888-663-5683. In addition, you should stay at home. Don't go to work, school, or any public place. Do not use public transport, and avoid visitors to your home. You may need to do this for up to 14 days to reduce the spread of the infection. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Up next are the latest updates on government's comprehensive response to COVID-19.
The total number of confirmed COVID-19 cases remain at 591. There are 368 Jamaicans who have recovered to date, with 7 new additions in the last 24 hours. So 7 new recoveries and no new positive case. In terms of case classification, at this time there are 92 imported cases. The 92 imported cases are categorized in the following way: 34 cases from before the travel restriction of March 22nd, 2020, 34 cases from cruise ships, 15 cases from flights returning from the UK, and 9 cases from flights returning from the US. In other words, since we started to repatriate our Jamaicans, whether from cruise ships or otherwise, we have had a fairly high increase in the number of cases since the March 22nd date. So that's 34 plus 15 plus 9. Before that time, we had 34 cases. In fact, the UK cases, the 15 UK cases are total 49 are from the cruise ships. Okay, so a correction there. The 15 UK cases are actually from the cruise ships, those that came in by air, but nevertheless were employees of a particular vessel. Further, 217 cases are contacts of confirmed cases. 27 are local transmission cases not epidemiologically linked, and 235 are linked to a workplace cluster. And of course, we know the workplace cluster is in Portmore, St. Catherine. 20 are still under investigation. The gender gap, the gender variation, 340 or 58% of the positive cases are females, 42% or 251 are males, and they range ages between 2 months and 87 years. Of the 591 cases confirmed with COVID-19 to date, 368 have recovered, that's a 62.3%. 10 or 1.7% have died, which is well below the global average, but nevertheless still unfortunate. And of note, there are 2 currently critically ill cases, and we have no moderately ill cases at this time. So 2 critically ill. The rest are, for the most part, asymptomatic or just mildly ill, which is also positive. There are 213 or 36% of active cases currently under observation. So in other words, of the 213 active cases, 2 are critically ill, and those would be our immediate concern, even while we maintain the isolation for the others. In terms of the control re-entry program, since April 29th, 2020, there have been some 2,320 entries. So persons have come in since April 29th, 2,320. All have been tested, and 58 have tested positive to date. And I say to date because we're still awaiting some results. So we will inform the public as we get back those tests. I want to just pause to really recognize the efforts of the public health team, who have really worked long hours to collect the samples, those at the lab or lab techs, the technical expertise who have worked to get the results of samples or get samples tested. And of course, we've been working with many other agencies, national security, customs, immigration, transport, JUTC, and others. But to cover this number in a relatively short space of time is a demonstration of collaboration and a commitment by the government to manage this process through to a successful completion.
Let's get some fire on our hearts. Now that is what we call alright. Run, come, get some Jamaica.
As we celebrate World Environment Day, it's important that we reflect on the significance of some of those persons who tirelessly help to keep our environment clean. High on that list are the island's sanitation workers.
Once upon a time, in a land far away from a fairy tale, were a people who lived the way you and I do, but a little differently. Much like the shoemaker and the elves, these street fairies don't leave beautiful pairs of shoes behind, but their art shares some similarities, and it's nonetheless worthy of recognition.
Good night, Dana Anderson, shovel user, shovel and jump, clean up Jamaica.
I'm working in company 8 years now. I like the job, keep the place tidy and clean.
They always say to me, they say, this is not a woman's work, but a woman has to do what a woman has to do, eh? You have to work for yours, eh? Nobody ain't gonna give you nothing, so you have to work for it.
Yeah, enough of the woman work hard and plenty of the man them. I get used to my work still, so I feel no different from the man them. At the end of the day, I will bread where I work for. So any work for woman. Woman do man work nowadays.
I'm all right with my work. Yeah, I can provide for myself, my nephew, my niece, my child. She don't really like me out here, you know. She rather me dead with she, but I have to make ends meet. I have to work, I have to pay my bills them. But they don't give me nothing, I have to work my own. But people that see me and want to style me and this, because I try to chuck work me do and them things there. But I don't really watch my face. Because I know, say, when my money enough, you see me?
I want to burn fire upon this whole foolishness that people talk from time to time about. If they don't litter, people don't get work.
Yeah, that's what them say some my time. But them can do better still. Plenty of them can do better still.
Enough of them like we, enough don't like we, because sometimes we have to do with all the truck like all that, so now them not say, you move from here, say you don't thinking truck and them things, but we don't care about that. That's our work. When you litter, you waste the resource of your country. you make life more difficult for yourself and your fellow men. And you destroy the aesthetic, the beauty of our country that we boast about so much.
We are cleaning up Jamaica. And without cleaning up not Jamaica, wiper, disease and germs are broke out. So everybody who work with solid waste, important people them. All are important.
Differently from the sweeper them, we don't like the garbage bag up and we go through it more easier for it. More time we come out and have to wait on the sweeper them like on the just seat right now. We have to wait till the street sweep up, but if it bag up, it's more easier for it. Just the fact that you are generating solid waste, I ask you to just take some time to package it properly so that it gives us more ease of cleaning. And it also helps the side women. They are human beings too. Their job is already very difficult. Don't make it more difficult for them by giving them extra work to do. It is very tough on them. The job is difficult. You know, it's not just about lifting things, put in a truck, but some of the things they encounter out here. Bags with human feces. That's common occurrence, especially in the market district. The smell of urine is everywhere and it's in the solid waste that they're picking up. All sorts of meat cuttings, fish bone, fish back, fish gut. Just about anything that people don't want, and they have to pick it up. They have to face it. A certain time at the night, when we reach certain hours at the night, like 3:30, 4 o'clock, gunman can't strike and we have to run left the garbage some of the time and all them things then. And come back around and take it up see because we cannot leave it. See me? We cannot leave it. And we don't like them keep Jamaica beauty and clean. Well, I stay out of them way and I don't really go for them though. I still think them happening. I just stay by myself, each time I look a corner. And yet despite the tough nature of the job, these people show up not just for work, but they show up and work. We're backbone of the company, you know. Who clean the rubbish and my backbone, we're the most important people in the company. How we clean up work, enough mess and good rubbish, bad rubbish, all different kind of rubbish. I believe deep in my heart that if you talk about heroes and heroines, our sidemen and sidewomen are right up there with any because of the human service that they provide and in very tough circumstances to keep Jamaica clean. Day after day, night after night, they are out and about, they roll up the sleeve, and notwithstanding all that they have to face, their head is down and they are going relentlessly in pursuit of that clean Jamaica. I laud them, I lift my hat to them. They are good people. I just hope that more and more people will see them for who they are. People who are there to safeguard the health of the nation. They are the NSWNA. Without them, we are nothing.
Yeah, I love my work. I love it. I love clean the shovel.
I really use a night time
And as sunbeams break the night sky and the stars and moon bid their goodbye, the city smiles.
To properly carry out a hand rub, apply a palmful of the product in your cupped hand, covering all surfaces. Rub your hands palm to palm. Rub your right palm over the back of your left hand with interlaced fingers and vice versa. Rub your hands palm to palm with fingers interlaced. Rub the back of your fingers to opposing palms with fingers interlocked. Rotationally rub backwards and forwards the clasped fingers of your right hand in your left palm and vice versa. Once your hands are dry, they are now safe.
Numerous news sources such as CNN, NBC, and UN News Network have reported a significant fall in carbon emissions during the global COVID-19 lockdown. The air was cleaner, and Mother Nature had a well-deserved break from abuse and pollution. As countries worldwide start to slowly open up again, we need to continue taking care of our surroundings. Here are 6 simple ways you can play your part to keep the benefits coming. 1. Print as little as possible. 2. Waste less by recycling more. 3. Save electricity. 4. Conserve and reuse water. 5. Eliminate the use of plastics in the household. And 6. Practice proper garbage disposal and composting measures. Remember, if we take care of Mother Earth will take care of us. So promise me you'll do your part in helping to make Jamaica and the world a better place for all of us to live, work, raise our families, and do business. By now, you should all know that, among other things, June is observed as Disaster Preparedness Month. The theme that is driving this year's awareness campaign is Prepare More so we repair less. Let's learn more about Jamaica's hurricane history and why we need to prepare for any future eventualities.
Jamaica's location in the Caribbean basin makes us vulnerable to the eventualities of the hurricane season. It is therefore critical that from June to November we always prepare for tropical cyclones. The location of system formation and their usual paths places Jamaica at risk for the entire 6 months of the hurricane season. Systems form in the Western Caribbean, that's Jamaica's location, or in the Gulf of Mexico at the start of the hurricane season. But as we move through July and August, we see development more in the Eastern Caribbean. Systems that develop here tend to move towards the west in the general direction of Jamaica. Then around September and October, we see systems developing more off the west coast of Africa or over the open waters of the tropical Atlantic Ocean. But the tendency again is that they move towards the west with a slight drift to the north, again placing Jamaica in a bullseye position. As we go into November, there is a shift to development in the Western Caribbean once again, sometimes in the southwestern region, but they move towards the north. Again, Jamaica is a target. So if we look at the trends over the last 18 years, from year 2000 to 2018, we see that several systems have affected the island, such as Hurricane Ivan in 2004, Dean in 2007, or even Sandy in 2012. Many people say that Ivan only passed close to Jamaica, it never really hit us, but it was a direct hit. We came within the ambit of the most tremendous wind speeds that are associated with a tropical cyclone. The eye wall moved over the southern coastline. Dean in 2007 was another hit for us. The center of the system was off the south coast, but again we came within the eye wall of Dean as it moved along the south coast. And in 2012 we had that visitor from the south. This was Sandy moving over the eastern part of the island, making its entry near Harborview and exiting around Port Antonio on the northeast coastline. It moved across the island as a Category 1 hurricane. We also had some systems that had unexpected but significant impact over the island. We had Wilma in 2005. This was one of the most powerful hurricanes ever formed. The system lingered in the early stage of development just off the southwest coast of Jamaica. We got 2 weeks of heavy rain, even though it did not move over the island. And then in 2008, you might remember Gustav. Gustav caused significant flooding and devastation as it moved across the country. And it was not even a hurricane, it was a tropical storm. Then there was Nicole back in 2010, which caused severe flooding even though it was not even named a tropical storm when the rains were pounding the island. We also had systems that didn't affect us despite our preparations. Two of the most memorable ones were Tropical Storm Earl and Hurricane Matthew, both of them occurring in 2017. If we look at especially Matthew, all the models were projecting a direct hit for Jamaica, but that is not what happened. Instead, it moved a little toward the east and it devastated Haiti. Some persons may use this as an excuse for not taking hurricane warnings seriously, but remember that despite the technology and the advances that are made in predicting the path of these systems, tropical cyclones are still somewhat unpredictable. It is always better to be prepared for systems that might hit, but don't, rather than be unprepared for one that hits us. So the message I want to get out there is about being prepared all the time, because a tropical depression, a tropical storm, or a hurricane could be a threat anytime before or during the hurricane season.
And that's all we have for you today on Jamaica Magazine. Thanks for staying with us for another informative show. While you go, do remember that you can re-watch today's program on our website, jis.gov.jm. While you're at it, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram for the latest news and information. I'm Audrey. Have a great weekend.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.